Well, so you've, in your thinking, though, have been through many levels of openness, right? I mean, you
Right.
came to remote viewing very, thinking that it wasn't possible, and you expanded it.
Not only did I come to remote viewing thinking it wasn't possible, 13 years into the program, every time I went in to do a session with a remote viewer, I would ask myself, how can I be doing this? Why am I here? This can't possibly work. Mm-hmm. I have all the same resistances bubbling up, and then there'd be some spectacular result, and I'd say, I've got to face it. And
so, I mean, we do have to reevaluate our whole
right.
understanding of consciousness physics.
Right.
But there is something to it. I mean, I've tried it, and you do get images flooding into
Right.
your mind, and it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly, as we saw, even when you've got a remote viewer, you've got an interviewer, and you have some target, you don't know what it is, and the person comes up with something that he knows just can't be right. The interviewer is sitting there really disgusted. He knows what the person is saying can't be right. They both try to get rid of this image, start from scratch, it still keeps coming in, so finally they give up and put it down, and it turns out to be correct. So obviously the information is there, and it has a certain robustness that you can't just discount.
So taking that all together, the quantum fluctuations, the remote viewing, I mean, there probably will be a place where they converge in the sense that consciousness is somehow a key element in all these phenomena,
Yeah, I mean, as I say, as a physics chauvinist, okay, I've got the physics I know, I've got some advanced physics that we're pushing, I've got this island of remote viewing, I've got this island of consciousness. I know they all go together because
they're all pieces of
the universe.
Yeah.
Certainly what we saw in the remote viewing was that people could do things that as physicists we couldn't explain, especially the future viewing of future events. I mean, that really wipes out most theoretical modeling. Even models that involve the possibility of forward and backward propagation of light waves still can't handle somebody describing an event that takes place in a week or something.
How would you, let's say if you were to hypothesize, how would you, in physics terms, or maybe some far out physics, explain it? I mean, if you...
Well, one depressing way to explain it is that it's all cast in concrete from here to infinity or whatever, and we're just marching through the slideshow frame by frame. Everything, there is no such thing as free will, it's all cast, and so somehow somebody finds some tricky way to jump ahead a few frames and see what's happening. That might imply that we don't have free will. So that's actually, you can get into sophisticated arguments where you can actually make all those things kind of work out, but it's a tough way to hold.
Well, what about but they weren't always right about forecasting the future.
That's right.
This whole idea about parallel universes, or each moment there's a split in the possible futures that can happen from this moment on. It depends which path we take.
In fact, to show how sci-fi physics has become, there is a serious theory. By serious, I mean it's published and no one can hit holes in it, called the multi-worlds interpretation, the many worlds interpretation of quantum theory, which says that at every instant of all the quantum possibilities, everything that could happen does happen. And so there's a you that just said this to me, but at some quantum level there was a you that decided not to say that, to say something else, and he's going off. And so, but it's just so seemingly absurd from the usual viewpoint. I don't think any physicist really believes that all possibilities are in fact unwinding into the future.
But they've been able to mathematically prove that that's possible.
Well, they've been able to mathematically prove that if you have that physics set up with that understanding, it doesn't violate anything we observe, because it just turns out we're following one of the tracks. So it's like a theory you can't disprove.
Right.
I don't think anybody, no one's thought of a way of proving it, unless you actually get access to alternate realities. But I'd have to say no physicist really buys it. But it's in the book, says when everyone lists various approaches to quantum theory, that gets listed because it can't be disproven.
Well, but you have an open mind, which is the best thing about you.
Try
in
to
the
keep
sense
an
that-
open mind, but hope my brains don't fall out.
Right, if it's too open. No, but I mean, your work is connecting these dots in particular.
Yeah, that seems to be my destiny in life. On the physics stuff, I'm on the edge of it. Obviously, in the remote viewing, we're on the edge of consciousness things, and you know, some people just sort of have a makeup that if it isn't out on the edge, it's boring, and so I happen to be one of those people.
Thank you for all your hard work.